Idiots need experts. Experts don't need idiots. We need experts to help us idiots. To give us idiots expert running advice. Experts to help the idiots. Hey!
Nick, the running coach. How do you beat jet lag without breaking yourself?
I'm going to keep it real. One of my worries for Matt is jet lag. So he's coming over on the 28th. He's running on the 29th. How would you manage this as in jet lag?
Yeah, he's going the more difficult way, isn't he? Because his body is going to think, let's say you're starting at 9 o'clock in the morning. His body's going to think that's already, it's going to be 5 hours different. So he's already going to be starting in the afternoon. So I think the problem's going to come towards the end of those first few days where his body is going to want to go to sleep. I mean, I don't think there's any easy way to do it. I think he's just going to have to go cold turkey and just try and adapt straight away to the time zone here in Ireland. Because if he could, if he was really able to, and with his work schedules and things like that, he could start trying to shift his bedtime a little bit when he's at home and start trying to acclimatize in that week before he actually travels. That's probably an ideal way to do it, but how many people can do that in reality, I don't know. But that's probably my advice, is that if he shifted his bedtime by, say, half an hour every day for a week beforehand, he could actually get himself more onto our time zone. But I think once that first day comes, he's just going to have to get up and get on with it. And I think probably by day 3, he's not going to be worried about jet lag. He'll be really worried about all sorts of other stuff. So yes, it's an issue, but it's probably a little bit he can do to mitigate that. But I'm not sure how much of an issue in the grand scheme of things it will be. We'll find out.
Stonehenge 300-mile ultra runner Alex. How do you recover from jet lag?
Oh no, I don't. I've never raced abroad. I'm quite a local guy. You see, to me, Hampshire is abroad. So going to Wales, that was positively exotic.
Tough Mudder Ben. Any advice on how you power through jet lag? Maybe coffee and McDonald's breakfast?
So you mentioned America, you mentioned Tough Mudder in America, which brings me on to jet lag. So how do you manage running far from home and dealing with jet lag? The reason I say this is Matt's flying from Ohio. He's landing on the 28th. On the 29th, we're starting running, and he is going to be potentially could have, oh, look at your face. He could potentially have, if anyone's listening, Ben just made a face to go, oh, that's going to be tough. Jet lag. How do you manage jet lag?
If there is a way, I've never found it. I tend to fly a few days early, so you've got a couple of days to settle. I don't know. People say try and sleep on the plane, take some sleeping tablets to try and sleep on the plane. I never manage. They're too bright, they're too noisy. The seats, you're like sardines in a tin, aren't you, on a plane? It's not exactly a good sleep environment. My missus can sleep anywhere. She could sleep stood up if it wasn't for gravity. She can just nod off, and credit to her, I can't. So, but I tend to fly early to give myself a couple of days to switch around. When I did night shifts, we used to just stay up after the last night, stay up through the day, not sleep, and then go to sleep a little bit earlier than normal at night time, so that you then reverse your body clock back round very quickly. But I'm not sure that's going to work for an ultra, because you end up tired the next day, but on the right body clock. That's caffeine, I guess. There's no real way. You're just going to have to tough it out with caffeine.
Derek, the corn on the cob ultra runner. How do you survive jet lag without making terrible decisions?
Jet lag. I'm concerned. There's a 5-hour time difference, and I'm not getting over super early to acclimate. I get to Ireland the day before we begin running. So I'm hoping in your years of marathoning and running across the world, you have some jet lag expertise where you can share, How do you manage that?
Yes, it's happened a few times. I felt quite sick, tired, didn't sleep the day before, and things like that, and getting there and all out of whack. And happily, I think the body falls into its running state, and it doesn't realize what time it is and how tired you are. I've often heard, like, for a lot of marathons, you're waking up at 2 or 3 in the morning because you got to eat and then drive to catch a bus to get a ride to the start and all this kind of thing. And they always say, oh, it's just the 2 days before. If you had rest there, your body can absorb that day. And I think you're going to be fine. That first, I don't know, few miles, I think you'll be surprised that you're like, wow, I can't believe I only slept 3 hours last night, and I feel like I'm on a normal rested training day. I think your body will snap back into it. I did one that started at midnight out in Las Vegas here in Area 51. So we start at midnight, and I'm going to bed at 9 o'clock every night. So I'm dead tired. I was falling asleep on the bus to get there, thinking, how am I going to do this? And really within 10 or 15 minutes, I was shocked that my body just was like, hey, we're running a marathon now. That's what we're doing. And I really think you're going to be fine. I've done traveled a lot for these things. I always try to get as much, if you can sleep on a plane, you'll be better off. But even that's not good sleep. So that'll be your break-in day, the first day.
Yeah, definitely. Acclimation day, we'll call it.
Yeah. But hydrate a lot, right? That's what they always say. Even though you're just sitting there watching a little movie on the plane, it dehydrates you more than being on the ground, I feel, and kind of tires you out even. So you're going to be fine.
Ashley, MS runs the US creator. How do you handle jet lag?
Jet lag and travel. So if you've had experience with having to fly a long ways and then run, how do you deal with that? What advice might you have for dealing with jet lag and then running?
My advice is to front load sleeping very well prior to flying. 1 or 2 days of bad sleep doesn't totally derail you. But if you don't take care of yourself before you depart, then you're kind of getting yourself in a sleep deficit. And then you have this poor sleep experience with jet lag, and then you're going to try and perform well. So I would be very diligent. I'm saying 3 to 4 weeks before departure. Make sure that month is really dialed in, that you're getting really good sleep. It's one of those things where you either shift it early enough so that your body adjusts, and that's kind of like your new normal, or you sleep really well, stay in your same routine, and then just know there's going to be a finite space of pain that you're going to experience in Ireland. Because your body, in my opinion, when I go time zones, I think the body shifts pretty quickly if it's a short period of time. So I would do either or. Either shift your sleep a little bit closer, but do it for a longer set of time leading up to departure, or just keep your healthy, solid routine, front load good sleep, and then just know, okay, I personally, I'm a really big, adamant, like, good sleeper. I don't think going over to Ireland and running one end to the other, and I don't think you're going to feel the sleep part of it for more than a day or two, in my opinion.
Joe, the Greek ultra runner. How do you survive jet lag and still run?
Jet lag. How do you deal with jet lag?
How am I dealing with jet lag? Look, when I was in the US and coming back for this pentathlon, I schedule my program because with California we have 10 hours difference, Greece and California, 10 hours. So definitely I need 10 days. So I didn't do it, like the next day. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. Not impossible, but it's going to be hard. So I suggest for that, because there's not other option, to come earlier, good nutrition and plenty of water. Plenty of water.
Sammy, the elite pathfinder. How do you outsmart jet lag?
How do you manage jet lag?
I think, going that way, it is different. To be traveling the one way is normally not too bad. Like, I travel quite a bit, especially whenever I was in the army. I've been out to America and stuff like that, and you find like your body clock is all up the left. So if he's flying in the day before, I would say try and get as much rest as he can on the flight. Like, take your things to cover your eyes, your noise cancelling headphones, sleep as much as you can, and then whenever you get over, try and get to bed where you're going to get some kind of sleep, so you're getting up to start it. But I would say after a couple of days of running, it'll soon find a routine anyway.
Sleep on the plane, coffee, or just run through it. You'll be fine. Next up, favorite piece of running kit.